Next on deck, ranch. Ranch. Next on deck, ranch. Ranch. Today's episode is all about food and beer pairings again, go figure. However, today the base food is going to be the same, and we're going to be dipping today's base food into multiple sauces. So what is that one thing that you fell in love with it as a kid and you are probably still in love with? That's right, the chicken nugget. So we're gonna start with the chicken nugget. We're gonna dip it into a bunch of different sauces and see which sauce changes the flavor of the nugget, and therefore, then once the flavor of the nugget is changed, you're gonna then have to pair it up with a different beer. So the first one off the bat, the classic barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce is awesome. It's usually sort of a tomato base, so it's got a little bit of tanginess from the tomato, and then you usually add a little bit of molasses in there to kind of thicken it up and give it a little bit of sweetness. And so we found that with that nice little sort of slightly tangy sweetness, we think that numero uno's got this beautiful dryness to it, so that as you're having a little bit of that sweet sauce, you then can take a sip of a nice bubbly beer and then kind of use the carbonation in the beer to wash away that sweetness, and then you're left with a nice dryness. So every time you take a sip of beer, you're going to want another nugget dipped in sauce, and every time you have a nugget dipped in sauce, you're going to want another sip of beer. And then the next one, probably one of my favorites too, sweet and sour, or some kind of maybe Asian-esque sauce that is going to have a balance between sweet and sour. Now Truth has got a little bit more of a pronounced sharp hop bitterness that I think will play really well with the sweet side of this and even reset the sour on this one. Then right after that, honey mustard. Now for me, honey mustard is a classic. I love chicken and honey mustard because honey mustard is perfectly balanced between ever so slightly pungent, and then it's also got a really nice soft sweetness, but not cloyingly sweet. So we thought that Snake Dog would be a great candidate for this because since the sauce is pretty balanced on its own, we don't really need to rely on an elevated alcohol content or any extra bitterness. But the great thing that Snake Dog's got going for it is you'll actually end up noticing a little bit more of the juicier side of the Snake Dog because it kind of plays on the mustard side, or the sweet side of the honey mustard. But almost too, it's like every time you take a sip of the Snake Dog, it kind of changes where you'll notice a little bit more of the mustard, then the next one you notice a little bit more of the honey. It ends up kind of playing back and forth, so really fun food pairing. Next on deck, ranch. Ranch is that one thing you can almost dip anything into and it's going to be delicious. So the cool thing about ranch is ranch has got this really awesome depth of flavor because it's got a little nice fat content from the creaminess on that, and then also it's got some really nice seasonings in there as well. Now usually it's got some pungent herbs and spices that we think will hold up really well to Raging Bitch. So Raging Bitch has got a little bit elevated alcohol content, so that'll do a great job of washing away the fattiness and richness in the dressing. And then also the Amarillo hops will hold up quite well to the seasonings in the sauce. And then also the really cool thing that Raging Bitch has got going on is it's got that really cool kind of spicy, clovey, sort of slightly citrusy thing on its aromatics. So the two aromatics are going to kind of blend well together, and then the elevated alcohol content and the Raging Bitch will do a great job of resetting the palate, making you want that next nugget dipped in ranch as if that would be a problem. And then the last one, buffalo. Buffalo's got this really beautiful depth in there. It's usually kind of buttery. It's got a little bit of a vinegary kind of pop. And then also, of course, there's that sort of chili pepper hot sauce thing going on with this one. If you're looking to put the fire out and calm things down, this is where I think Thunder Peel is going to be a great one. What makes Thunder Peel such an awesome beer is it's very low in its bitterness, so you get to notice a little bit more of the sweet side of the left behind by the malts. And then also, Thunder Peel also has an enormous amount of juicy hop character that I think works really well with buffalo sauce. Wings and kind of sweet drinks also work really well together. So I think all those will make your chicken nugget experience elevated. So what's the big takeaway? Food and beer pairings do not have to be complex. It could be something just as simple as taking chicken nuggets and dipping them in different sauces and trying a bunch of different beers. So the next time you're gonna have a dinner party, don't slave over your oven. Just order a big, huge pack of chicken nuggets and get a bunch of sauces. Everybody will think you're brilliant. I already think you're brilliant.
So cute.
Okay.
Aww,
Yeah.
good job.